Greetings. I hope this video finds you well and prospering. Hey, check this out. I'm gonna keep giving the Passport Bro content because a lot of guys subscribe to the channel because of some of the information that I share about living overseas and traveling overseas. So I'm gonna stay with that content. Not all the time, but when I feel the need to address something of it. And I feel the need excuse me, to address this. A lot of these passport guys are being fueled by hate, dislike, discomfort. Listen, the number one book of all times, the Holy Bible says, listen, you have to be content in whatever state of being. There's another verse. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Look, don't fall into what I call state hate. A lot of these guys just, in order for them to love a place overseas, they have to fix it in their mind to hate the United States of the corporation. You want to have a balanced life. You want to be content in whatever. You want to be content living in the United States. You want to be content with traveling overseas. You want to be content with moving overseas. You want to be content with living overseas. And you want to be content with traveling back from overseas to the United States. And if need be, you want to be content with moving back from overseas to the United States. Listen, there are a bunch of expat videos on YouTube with them expressing the reasons that they moved back to the United States. A lot of these guys, they letting their pride get to them. They'll be overseas. And listen, the 2 years that I was in the Philippines, best bully, I wasn't stressing coming home. I was like, I don't need to fly home halfway in between the tour duty. A lot of guys, halfway through the 2 years, they'll fly home. I said, it's just 2 years. I can do that. So I did the 2 years like, nah, I'll go home after my 2 years are up. Excuse me. But listen, I didn't get overwhelmed with wanting to go home because I wasn't getting homesick. Listen, wherever I'm at, I make it my life. When I left the United States, I played softball. When I got to the Philippines, I played softball. When I left the United States, I was a bowler. When I got to the Philippines, we would bowl and gamble. Listen, I rode bikes in the United States. When I got to the Philippines, I became a road bike racer. A couple guys was in the road racing. I said, man, I still got the bike in stores right now. I'm gonna restore my road racing bike. I'm gonna take it to a couple of trails and get some miles in with it since I'm working on my fitness again for serious. So yeah, everything I was doing in the United States, when I got to the Philippines, listen, I did not stop being me. I was already enjoying life. And I was over there making money. 19-year-old in a foreign country making money. Yeah, I had never made that kind of money before joining the Air Force. And I joined the Air Force at the age of 17. So yeah, we started getting them checks in basic training. We were balling. I was in high school selling sodas out of a backpack. Sodas and suckers and candy bars. Before that, I had a paper route. I've always been a hustler. So hey, I get overseas and be hustling again. I got overseas in Philippines. I played basketball my whole childhood in the hood. I got overseas on a military base. We hooping, playing basketball. I'm on the base team. We balling. We go off base. The Filipinos love basketball. They love to hoop. Base team, we went off base and hooping against some of the local guys in the neighborhood. Man, it was packed. It looked like Rutgers Park in New York. It was just packed. People came to watch us play basketball. Listen, man, a lot of these guys, they're really not doing a lot of things in the United States. So they start watching videos and they see passport travel trending. They see a young guy, he done shot up in popularity on the internet with TikTok and YouTube. So people are like, hey man, this passport stuff. Listen, passport life and overseas living has been going on for decades. For decades. So people go over and experience overseas living, overseas country, women. Listen, a lot of them just go back and forth. Me, I'll go back and forth. I live on 10 private acres, baby. My parents are still here. Listen, I don't down the United States. I don't hate the United States of the corporation. I just recognize it for what it is. I don't have to hate this place in order to love overseas. Listen, I can enjoy both of them because when I'm overseas, I'm looking forward to coming back home. It's where all my resources are. But I'm gonna have to spend a bunch of money to get 10 acres in Costa Rica, a Harley motorcycle, 3-4 vehicles, 3 cribs, well, 3 dwellings. I'm gonna have to be spending a lot of money to reestablish myself overseas. Which I can do it, but nah, I just go over there and travel back and forth. So I'm not developing the state hate. And another thing, this country has 50 states and 14 territories. Listen, I challenge any guy that's so pro passport, pro overseas, to show me what type of life they're living overseas. Listen, man, I will show them just how dope the United States really is. Man, I go Sunday night roller skating with the brown skin folks, man. Ain't nobody rolling overseas like that. All across this country, Sunday night is adult skate night amongst the black folk, so-called black folk. I can go camping with some brothers and sisters. They ain't doing it like that overseas, man. I can ride the bike with a bunch of brothers and sisters. They ain't doing it like that overseas. Matter of fact, people overseas come to the United States to ride the highways and the routes here in the United States. I've met some. I said, man, don't you ride in your country? Guy was from Europe. So, man, don't you ride in your country? He said, it's not like here. I said, yeah, I can see that. Our highway system, yeah, you can ride. Do not let anyone convince, and don't develop state hate, what I call it. State hate. Because listen, I'm gonna tell you something, and I'm gonna wind this down. It's got long enough. Some of them guys, man, they're gonna go overseas. And they're gonna get over there, and they're gonna do so much clubbing, and they're gonna run through so many women, and then they're gonna be like, okay, now what?